Hasan. Anyway, let's move on to the New York grand jury reconvening in the Trump finance probe tied to the hush money
the Manhattan grand jury investigating former President Trump's hush money case is meeting today.
And meanwhile, the special counsel is building its case for possible federal charges against the former president.
Joining us now is CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates, who's been standing at that same position now for days on end. Graham, the Manhattan grand jury is in fact meeting today. What more do we know about what is expected to unfold this afternoon? And I get that it's a lot of speculation that I'm asking you to do there.
Yeah, you're right. Here we are again. It seems like it's running through the same thing all the time. There are just a couple of protesters. You can see they're over here. But, you know, what we know is that today they're meeting again. We don't know for sure if what they're going to be hearing while they're meeting again. We still don't know when, if ever, there's going to be the ask for an indictment vote from this group of 23 Manhattanites. They've been meeting since mid-January on most Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. And it was only last week that we learned that, in fact, Thursday they meet to hear about other stuff. So what we know is that, as scheduled, they're back here this afternoon. But unfortunately, I'm not able to tell you what that means for someone who's interested in this case.
So Graham, I mean, a lot of people are interested in this case. And so are you able to rule out a vote on the indictment today? Is that...
New York hogs are my favorite breed of hogs, dude. They're my favorite breed of hogs, okay? They're great. I mean, they are, they're a minority. And for that reason, they are like way more unhinged.
That's something you can say is definitely not going to happen today?
No, we can't even go that far. Look, we haven't gotten an indication one way or another. We knew as of 2 weeks ago that this thing was nearing its conclusion, and we knew that because they had invited former President Trump to appear before the grand jury. And in New York, that's typically one of the last things that happens. And then a week ago today, instead of Trump appearing, a witness who was asked by his team to appear came, and that was a lawyer named Robert Costello, who had said that he had previously been a legal advisor to Michael Cohen, himself a former lawyer for Trump, and the key witness of this whole probe. But since then, there's actually been no action before the grand jury in the week since, until it meets a little later this afternoon.
And Graham, the Manhattan DA's office has been receiving threats. I mean, that's such a big part of this story, too, ever since that Trump tweet or ever since we learned about this. How's the office responding? And are the threats, you think, having an impact on the investigation?
Yeah, they're all out here.
Well, the security apparatus here is...
It's mind-boggling to me that the fucking lav mic is not doing its job right now. Like, these guys are so... Nah, California hoggers are plenty unhinged. No, listen, I love hogs from all backgrounds, all shapes, and all sizes. Okay, that much is known. Let me be clear. I'm a big fan of hogs. Okay, and there's different seasonings of hogs that I like. Obviously, hogs in a blue state are oftentimes way more unhinged. That's why I love the California hogs too. Every single one of them is like a failed actor who is now just like a protester for not just fun but also paid. You know what I mean? It's awesome. It's great. Not Ben Shapiro. I'm talking about the classic, the classic hogalinas that are from Orange County and shit. You know what I mean? They're great.
is way different than it was last week or the week before. Earlier today, I saw bomb-sniffing dogs going around and checking out packages nearby. The garbage cans outside the two buildings, the Manhattan Criminal Court and directly behind me, the district attorney's offices, have all been removed. There are far more police than you normally see, and there's barricades everywhere. But in terms of how it's affecting the investigation itself, I don't think there's any indication that it's had an impact at this point.
So I did want to pick up one other thing as I also think about other news today. There's been movement in a couple of these other probes. I have to keep a flowchart going to keep it all in my mind at one time. But the president is the subject of multiple probes, and I'm curious, are you getting any indications of where those other ones stand? And if not this one, what other one might drop first? We're all in a waiting holding pattern, aren't we?
Stop me if you've heard this before, but all the other ones appear to be at advanced stages. So there's this one in Fulton County, Georgia, with a special purpose grand jury that turned in its report to the district attorney.
They just want to stop him, brother.
And
they want to stop him at all costs.
She said that a charging decision was imminent, and then afterwards, a reporter asked her about it, and she said, "When I said that, I meant legally imminent, not reporter imminent." And I've been thinking about that for all of these investigations. What we see as just around the corner, and maybe is in legal terms, still takes a long time. So we're still waiting to see what happens with all of these. Not just the Fulton County one, but there are two investigations, federal investigations.
I can conclusively say that this saga is so washed. Like, it never got even a fraction of the attention that it normally would have gotten for a couple of reasons. One, because attrition. I think a lot of people have gotten tired of fucking Trump being arrested or possibly being on the verge of arrest or anything like that. I think two, January 6th really fucking stopped the hogs dead in their tracks. They legitimately are fearful of some kind of punishment for the first time ever because they thought the criminal justice system worked for them and never against them, even if they violated the laws. And January 6th was like a wake up call for a lot of them. And I think last but not least, the Republican Party infrastructure is not supporting the AstroTurf protests like they did in the past because they don't think that Donald Trump is worth it to do that because they don't want Donald Trump. They see him as a threat.
It's being run by the special counsel of D.C. And we recently saw another former Trump attorney have to go before that grand jury, too. And so, again, these are all moving forward, but we just don't know when or what will happen with them.
All right. Well, when something drops, we know you'll be there to tell us what it is and where it bounces. Graham Cates, thank you.
It's just, I've been desperate.
We are joined.
I've been desperate to try to find, good hogs. You know what I mean? Seasoned ones. And honestly, my desperate attempts have been fruitless. There really isn't a lot going on. There really isn't a lot going on in the hog world, in the hog universe, in the hogiverse. They're not. Maybe COVID killed a bunch of them too. I think that was a big one too. But Trump's Waco rally was kind of, it wasn't that poppin'. It didn't get a lot of mainstream media coverage with the exception of the HasanAbi broadcast. It was kind of mid. You know what I mean? He didn't really go off the rails that much. He's not freestyling as much. And he did it on the anniversary of the standoff. And the media kind of did their thing that they always do where they ate the bait. You know what I mean? Hook, line, and sinker. But even then, it didn't get a lot of play for some reason, because people are not as interested in the outrage cycle as much. And the ones that are outraged all the fucking time are unhinged psychopaths that are outraged about trans people and are constantly talking about children's genitalia. So it's weird. There's a massive shortage of flex fit hat wearing bearded guys during jump cut editing, walking back and forth across their driveway. Hopefully Trump can bring them back. Yeah. CPAC's attendance was booty cheeks. Yeah, but that is So CPAC's attendance was booty cheeks because of what I just told you. Because the Republican Party has a lot of internal strife right now, where they are basically victim to their own success. They've gotten a lot of their policy and a lot of their like nefarious agenda through in, of course, undemocratic means, through the courts and all that good stuff. So now they are having an issue with hitting the culture war button a little too hard. They're basically suffering from their own success. So, you know, it's more of an existential threat to the existence of the Republican Party. Okay? More of an existential threat in general for the Republican Party's future, but like it's being played out through Trump and DeSantis. Like if you want to put a human face to this existential internal strife that's happening in the Republican Party, it's best played out in the Ron DeSantis v. Donald Trump saga that is currently happening.